June 2nd, 2026, regular meeting of the West Haven ARPA Committee will now come to order. Will each member, paid professional, and city officials state your name for the record? Ken Carney.
David Grubberg, Carmody, Torrance, Sandax, and Hennessy, counsel to the committee.
Dwight Knowles. Chris Borstein.
Mike Last.
Okay, and we have Rohan on the
Rohan
phone.
Smith is on the phone.
Got it. All right, each member received a copy of tonight's agenda. Are there any proposed changes?
Here it is.
There he is.
There's Rohan.
In the
Okay.
flesh.
No, you're fine.
Got all the important people in here, huh?
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
You got that?
Brother, how you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a long time.
It's been a long time.
You have to,
Stop trying to stay out of trouble.
you are, you're staying out of sight, too.
Try.
So what do we do here? She's like, what?
Yeah.
She's
Oh,
like,
okay. What's up there, Mr. Chair?
like basic security.
How you doing, right?
And it's till 8. She's like, I guess,
Hey,
yeah.
the plate's on
like,
this side, just got back from Florida.
She's like, why don't we go
Go
through
down,
the
the
schedule?
first meeting
Like,
is August 22nd.
proceeded to talk loudly on speakerphone.
It's okay. I'm
Mike looked it up.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks,
See you later. Have a good night.
Is that two there?
No, it's me, they're both me.
Oh, you get two?
Well, we got the title.
Can't
Oh.
find your name tag.
Oh, that's fine.
My apologies.
I know my name, so it's okay.
Your phone, I think Mike ripped it up when he thought you were in there coming. It's terrible. So, all right. Are there no proposed changes to the agenda? If none, the agenda stands. I'd like a motion to waive the reading of the May 5th regular meeting minutes on pages 5 through 8.
So moved.
Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I'd like a motion to approve the May 5th regular meeting minutes as written on pages 5 through 8.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Next, we move on to a general report. So we are showing on your tracker roughly 3.8 million not spent. However, about 2.2 million of that is encumbered. And the rest is working its way. So I don't think we're going to be giving any money back to the feds, but we're working on that diligently. We do have some guests tonight from the Village Improvement Association, the West Haven Library. If you could introduce yourselves.
I'm Colleen Bailey, Executive Director for the library.
And I'm Melissa Margai, and I'm the outreach librarian.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for being here. So tonight you have submitted some proposals. If you could pass these down. For a mobile library.
Yes.
Instead of them coming to you for the books, you're going to bring the books to them.
That's the goal.
I thought we had a mobile
So-
already.
So we have a book van, but right now it's not a fully accessible bookmobile. So what we're looking to accomplish is with having a full-scale bookmobile, we'll be able to be a true pop-up library and go throughout the entire town, and especially concentrating in Allingtown, because obviously we've been trying to build a branch in Allingtown, and that hasn't quite come to fruition in the time that we were anticipating. So part of the reason I brought Melissa here is with me too, is that she can kind of talk to you about in more detail what we're hoping to accomplish by having a full-scale bookmobile again. For those of you who've been around for a while in West Haven, 15, 17 years ago, we did have a full-scale bookmobile that patrons were able to go on and kind of really browse through the collection, and we were able to help people where they were. And we had gone down to like a van, which has met our needs for the time being, but we're now looking to really increase that square footage throughout town.
Will you be including daycare centers and
Yes.
home daycare centers?
Yeah,
then?
so we're looking to be able to really expand the outreach services that Melissa's already doing. So we already go to the senior center and the VA and a lot of the daycares, but we'll be able to really increase that. We'll also be able to park in neighborhoods with this bookmobile. So by being able to have that full coach bus, people will be able to come on and browse again like they used to. So we'll be able to park in in the housing projects throughout town. So we'll be able to do services for a couple hours at a time in those areas. And because Melissa's also an MLS librarian, we'll be able to do full services that we do at the main library, that we do at the Orr Mason branch. We'll be able to do tech support with people while we're in the community. We'll be able to do things like help people get onto assistance. I know Melissa was talking about at the senior center, sometimes she's helping people get onto how they can get into their My Chart. So we'll be able to help people with that stuff where they are, especially if they can't get to our 2 locations.
Will the bus have Wi-Fi?
Yes. Yeah, we were looking at a couple different models, and Farber is the one that we really like because that one is also, they also specialize in bookmobiles, so that gives us everything that we need. And they'll be able to get it to us within 6 weeks, so we could be fully operational by mid-August at the absolute latest Labor Day.
All right, you guys want to make a short presentation on the bookmobile and the features and benefits? Go ahead.
Yeah, so like I said, we're gonna be looking at doing, going to all the different schools. When Washington School was closed, Melissa was going to Washington. We were actually the library services that they were utilizing. We're gonna be able to go to all of the daycare centers. Trying to think, what else have you been doing?
So yeah, I've been doing a lot with wheat. I've been doing wheat twice a month and offering services there. I also, in the summer, work with the Connecticut Food Bank, mobile food bank, where they do the stops for children's lunches. I bring the bookmobile. And, you know, as Colleen said, we do the best with what we have, but it is kind of cumbersome right now. My setup is, I have about 500 books on the bookmobile, and they're currently in like crates that I have to like bring out and put on a table for people to like flip through like you would like records or albums, as opposed to the van is too low, so kids can't, it's not handicapped accessible, so they can't actually get up onto the van to, you know, browse the titles and things like that. And a lot of the people have commented, you know, like, oh, this is great, but like, you know, we wish you had like the old-fashioned kind of bookmobile that we can go on. And I'm like, yeah, no, I know. So, you know, this would just, again, as Colleen said, be able to kind of increase what we're able to do. We'd be able to, one of the ones we're specifically looking at, have 2 desk spots, so we would outfit them with computers. So if people, you know, we would go and park in the Allentown district, we would advertise, obviously, like, hey, we're gonna be here for 2 or 3 hours, you know, on Wednesdays or whatever, and people can come on, they can access the internet, they can print, they can fax, they can scan, and, you know, really kind of have all the benefits of a full functioning library, whereas now, we're kind of limited, and all we really do is like book checkouts and things like that.
Are you still doing Navigator program?
Yep, yes, we
Yeah.
are.
When will that end?
Officially, it will end in December with the funding, but we are hoping to at least allocate some of that into our day-to-day, because we've been, you know, continuing to do more tech help as well. At least initially with Melissa, because we already have an outreach librarian, we're going to continue, you know, we're going to try to do as much as we can with one staff member, but we may eventually be adding, you know, additional like part-time staff to assist her as well, so we can kind of really continue to do that. But, I mean, we want to be able to expand our outreach and be able to hit as many people in town as possible. We do know that there's also some people who just can't get to the main library. For people who take the bus line from Allentown, there's no direct way to get to downtown. You have to go into New Haven to then come back. So by having a bookmobile, we'll be able to, again, park in certain areas and neighborhoods within Allentown and be able to truly give them library services where they are. And we will, you know, obviously we would have a schedule posted so people are aware where we are, so then we can do technical help for them if they need it. One of the biggest things we see, I'll say nearly a third of any of the reference questions we get at the main library and Orr Mason branch are technology help. So by having a full-scale bookmobile that's a pop-up library, we'll be able to do those services where people are. The most important piece is we want to be able to help as many people as possible in town. And by having a full-scale bookmobile, we'll be able to do that.
All right, let me just kind of bring the committee up to speed. So the original intent of $1 million was for engineering and purchase of a piece of property. And I know, as the library now knows, there's just nothing available in Allentown. The buildings are either too dilapidated, they're too small, they're too big, there's really not a good fit to spend that
And I
money.
will say, we did put in offers in then 3 different locations that
Yeah.
have fallen through. So we have been trying. We do still own land up on the Post Road, so we are not giving up on the Allentown project, but at this point in time, we know there's a timeline with the ARPA funding, so we want to make sure that we are still making sure to increase the services the library has to Allentown, and that's where the bookmobile piece came up.
I thought they were going to look at a school in Allentown here.
Blake Street?
Yes.
Yeah, we did
That
put
fell
a,
through.
yeah, we
They
did
put a bid on that, and it was sold under their feet there. They
Yeah,
didn't-
we actually had a letter of intent with the original, with the owners of the building. They then rescinded our letter of intent, gave us back our deposit, and they went with a different person. So that was really unfortunate.
Who then came in and contaminated the whole neighborhood with asbestos. That's a different story.
That's not my problem.
So I've met with the consultants on ARPA, and they feel, looking at the original council resolution, there's not much difference from people going to Allentown Library or the Allentown Library coming to them. So they feel that a coach-type bus could be covered under the original council resolution. That is their final decision. What's not covered is the outfitting of that coach. So if you take the coach and you turn it upside down, anything that falls out of it cannot be covered under ARPA. Training people to run the bus is not covered. Internet bills are not covered. It would just be basically the purchase of the bus. The library went out and they got 3 quotes. And keep in mind, there's still a procurement process that the feds require we go through. We'll talk about that in a moment. But the highest number was 661, 416 was the middle number, and 317 was the low number, okay? And I'll tell you from experience, I'm not saying do the 317, but the 317 is your most reliable vehicle, mechanically speaking. I don't know what it does inside, but the mechanical port, the F450 is the most reliable of the 3. Tell us the difference between the 661 and the 416 price.
Those are both similar vehicles, or both Winnebagos. We personally want to do more of a bus-like vehicle. We do think it'll be more accessible for people to kind of get into it. I will say the difference between the middle one and the higher one is that they will put in as much stuff as we want. We can also potentially do solar on it as well for doing things like when we're running, if we're at, say, we're at a festival in town, we'll be able to utilize that instead of a generator for doing things, for running the space itself. So any of the electricity that's going to be utilized in it. They will also outfit it with a television that we'll be able to utilize on the outside of the van. So if we're doing things outside of the bookmobile, we have an awning out, we'll be able to do things like show movies on the green. We'll be able to do things in our parking lot with it that way. We'll also be able to really truly set up like an outdoor space as well, in addition to the inside of it. They both do offer wrap services. Farber did include the wrap in the cost as well, and they also did include the extended warranty as well. So that's where the.
Would it make sense to go to all 3 companies with the same specifications?
We did. We brought them, we said to all of them that this is what we're looking for.
So.
I will say
Yeah,
that.
just help me understand then, because, and I don't question, the wisdom of having a bookmobile. But, between Farber and Tesco, it's a $250K difference, 60% more. Is there things with the Farber that you can't get from the Tesco?
Yes. The Tesco had only one community desk space, so that would only allow one person at any given time to be able to kind of get at a computer space, access computer space, whereas the Farber offered 2. They also, as Colleen said, Farber basically specializes in bookmobiles, so they have a lot more sophisticated things available that would make my life much easier in running a mobile library.
So those items are included in their quote?
Yes.
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 And they are?
They have rollout carts, which is beneficial. Well, all of these are handicap accessible, so they all would come with a lift and everything. These offer double-sided carts in addition to the regular stationary shelves, and that's helpful because, again, if we're doing an event, I can just take the books on the cart and roll them out. It's really helpful to kind of have that extra space. They also offer, as Colleen said, like touch screens, which is great because we could even put a lot of our library interface on there so people can access that. We could have a rolling screen of like what we're doing at the library, what kind of programs we have coming up. And they offer a bunch of different like educational games and stuff for children to be able to access. So again, just a little more, approachable, a little more, nice looking. Whereas the other ones kind of didn't offer that technology piece.
So one of the problems we have is we don't want the government clawing back any funds.
Right.
We are approving the purchase of a coach versus the building. We feel that if we get 3 bids and you go with the highest bid, that's going to send up a red flag. Now, the history of this thing has been, you were given the money, you spent about $30,000 in engineering that we can't account for because you didn't buy the building, not your fault, but it didn't happen. Now, we're at the last minute here, we got 3 bids, and if you go with the 661, or we approve that, we think there may be some questioning of how this money's being spent. That could be a red flag, and they could actually claw that back. You have a question, Mike? Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with everybody. I guess what concerns me is the Farber quote is broken down really, really well.
Right.
Right, it has everything. The Tesco is not, it's kind of general.
Yeah.
I would feel more comfortable if the Farber is what you're looking for, to take those specs and then bid apple to apple.
Yeah.
And if a vendor can't offer one of those items, they can just say NA, then we can actually justify why the cost would be higher.
I mean, I would be happy to see if, especially Tesco, is willing to break it down similarly to Farber. if
They're
that's
the
the
one that
case.
said a couple weeks for an estimate, though.
Yeah, I
believe.
mean, I think too, we're also very cognizant that there is a timeline involved here, and Farber can get us a vehicle at the latest 6 weeks. Tesco's timeline was more like 10 to 12, and the LDV was 8 to 10 months. I have
So
another.
let's look at the timeline for a minute. So here's the issue we have. The ARPA funds, we are allowed to move excess funds to existing buckets of money on projects that were identified in December of '24. The only bucket of money we have available is paving. So we would have to introduce those funds to the paving bucket by September 15th in order to beat the closing of the asphalt plants by October 15th. That's the deadline we're dealing with here, okay? I think, in my opinion, the best move would be to go back to the 416 price, the middle price, ask them for those other features. If it goes up and it doesn't go past 661, I think we're inclined to approve that and get this moving.
Okay. I mean, I am fairly confident that I can get a quote for that very quickly.
Go ahead, Chris, you have a question?
I was just, the big challenge with LDV is the timeframe.
12 weeks is okay. Here's the thing.
Yeah, they seem, I mean, the
No,
detail.
they were
for LDV
Months.
They were
12
months. They were 10 months. LDV was 10 months.
Oh, is that,
Yeah. I
10
also have another one, Summit Body Works, that's also working on a quote as well. It's also for similar Winnebago, but their quote is
yeah.
also for,
what
is
price is the 10?
several months out.
The
I think the
Oh, yeah,
difference
the
between.
317's out. We can't meet the time frame.
I would
It's
say
out.
Tesco and Farber are both similar vehicles. I do think they also keep vehicles in stock, so they're able to kind of they can make adjustments fairly quickly, where some of the other vendors are pretty much custom, and that's why they take much longer.
Here's the thing. From a risk assessment standpoint, if they put an order in for the Farber, and let's just say it's 50,000 more because they add things that not in there, the risk is very low because the fact that they're going to deliver that before December of '26, we're comfortable with, okay? If we get into construction, the risk is very high, and we can't have that.
Well, the other thing too is that we've got 3 bids that are different specs,
Yeah.
right? We really do. The LDV isn't a Winnebago, right?
No.
No.
So
They don't
we're dealing with
offer-
3 different things. I really think we need specs.
Apples to apples.
Apples to apples,
Yeah.
and I know it's an extra step, but I would feel more comfortable if we had specs to these 2 companies. Can they deliver it or can't they? And I think the delivery date could be one of the things then that we use.
So let's talk about procurement. So one of these guys has got to be on a national buying group to meet procurement for purchasing. You got to ask that question. You know, are they on Sourcewell? Are they on some other national group? Otherwise, there has to be an advertised bid. And that's going to take some time. You guys getting 3 quotes does not meet procurement. It's got to come through an advertised bid, a sole source provider, or a buying group. Those are the
Like a
3 options.
government contract, right, or something of that
Yeah,
sort?
okay, I
Yeah.
can check.
Government and.
I can check with both of those, with both vendors. I'm fairly confident they're both on those.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
think
That would solve that.
we really have to look at apples to
Yeah.
apples.
But I think the best chance that we have moving forward is you take the Farber, try to build it up to what the other one is, as close as you can. That's the middle price.
Right.
Give me a buying group, and we can go with that. Now, part of this deal is gonna be, whatever that final number is, the city's gonna wanna check back for the difference of the money they've given you already to fund that paving bucket. Otherwise, the feds take it back. That's the dilemma we're in. You can't spend that money on anything else. And if you don't give it back to us, the feds take it, and then no one's happy. So, that make sense?
Yep.
And any interest you've earned from that money is yours. We don't care about that, but the initial funds have to come back to the city after you buy the bus, the coach. Any other questions? Anybody?
Before we move on, I just should state for the record, I've been silent. Our firm represents the VIA.
Yeah.
And that's an engagement that predates our involvement on behalf of the committee. We made the city aware of it when we were engaged. It was a carve-out for that, so that's why I've remained silent. There have been instances where, conflicts have been waivable, and we've been able to work together toward a common goal, like after the money was approved, to try to make the property acquisition happen. But on something like this, in deference to the fact that we represent the VIA, I'm laying out on behalf of the committee. And I just wanted to make that clear on the record. I know some people are aware of it, some people are not, but just wanted to be fully open and transparent about it.
So cooperative purchasing is going to avoid 60 days of bidding. Cooperative purchasing could be a Sourcewell-type national membership, or it could be on the DAS state bid list.
Okay.
Either of those will carry us through the bidding process.
Okay.
Okay? What I'd like to do is maybe give you 2 weeks. I can call a special meeting, or you and I can talk, whatever, but in 14 days, get me a quote on the Farber that is equal, as close as possible to what the higher number,
Gotcha.
or is it Farber? No, it's LDV, right?
Tesco.
Oh, it's
Tesco.
Tesco.
Yeah, Tesco, I'm sorry. Yeah, Tesco, my point. Get a Tesco quote that is as equivalent to the Farber as you can, keep it under 661. We'll call it the middle quote, and I think that puts everything to bed. We meet all the regulations. We take care of the procurement through cooperative purchasing. You refund the balance of the money, and everybody's happy.
Sounds good.
All right. Any other questions? All right, and we appreciate the work that you guys do. I know you help a lot of people. The Navigator program is unbelievable, and I think this will be unbelievable.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Any questions for us?
No, I'll get that stuff to you as soon as possible. And
Thank
if you
you.
need another meeting, I'll let you know.
Excellent. All right, everybody good? All right, moving on. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much.
Okay, let's start with The CARES Act Financial Management, I have a Carmody invoice in the amount of $13,080 on page 11. Do you have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay. Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Whatever approved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, I have JAL Films for $300 on page 16. Do you have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, moving on. I have UHY, our friends at UHY, page 17, for $3,937.50. Do you have a motion to approve? Okay. Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. All right. Give me 1 second here to get the right book out.
You ain't trying getting a lot of money from this. Hey,
All right, moving on, I've got parks. So I do have a couple things. We have Franks and Fence 3 times. I'm told that the requests for pricing is delivered within 24 hours from Franks and Fence. Jobs are completed within 1 to 2 weeks. 9 out of 10 times, Frankson has come in the low bidder. Frankson is on the state bid list for cooperative purchasing. Frankson does not require the management that other companies require in doing the work. And Frankson has a high number of donated services and materials to the city. Painter Park, Lower Road needed to get installed immediately because of excessive dumping. Painter Park, move existing gate to far end of park, limit access when needed, there's a PO for. Painter Park enclosure around propane tank, there's a PO for that. And the city has revised their procurement and purchasing requirements. The low threshold now is 15,000. Under 15,000, we don't require individual bidding. Okay? Or advertising. So with that, I have 3 invoices, starting on page 18, going to page 29. The first one for Franks and Fence is $2,625. The second one is $905. The third one is $1,319. Do you have a motion to approve all 3?
Motion to approve all 3 Franks and Fence.
Do I have a second? That'd be Chris. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, stormwater management. We are using the funds in that bucket of money for payroll because the city is performing their own stormwater management. And we are seeing areas that have flooded for decades not flooding anymore. Your Public Works Director, Phil, is all over this stuff. He's uncovering grates that have been buried by lawns for years. He's cleaning out pipes. He's making the existing system work by fixing and repairing, and I think he's doing a great job. All right? Go down to the fire district on page 30. I've got an invoice for Ace Abatement. Now, this is the center district. We went out to bid, and we got one price of $26,000 and one price of $11,700. That's for the Savin Avenue house that's coming down. They did their work. They met the clearance test. Ace Abatement did a great job, $11,700. That is actually cut from a checkbook from the center district. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Let's go to page 35. I got Antonazzi and Associates for the West Shore Fire District. So that project is moving very quickly. It is gutted, it is framed, all the mechanicals are done, and they've sheet-rocked one side of the framed walls waiting for inspection. They are moving very, very quickly. That's diversity. So I've got a Antonazzi design invoice on page 35 for $1,062.50. That's part of their contract. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, I've got Diversity Construction Group, The invoice was presented on the May 5th ARPA meeting and voted unanimously to table, but the architect had not signed it, so we're doing it again. Page 36 to 39, 2771.34. Do you have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, I've got Brooks Environmental. Those are the consultants who designed the abatement plan, $895. Do you have, they did their testing, page 40. Do you have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Second. Dwight, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Go to page 41. I've got Arts, Robin Vianney, $420. And this is for some floral arrangements. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do I have a second? Chris, you like flowers?
I do it.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, moving on, we have West Haven Voice. You have to take this over, Mike. I cannot talk about these.
Okay, we've got invoice number 3148 for residential customer postage for 22,027 customers. And I'm not sure exactly what that was for. Was that for the budget?
No, that's their spring
Invoice says Summerfest 2026.
Yeah, the next one says Summerfest also.
One's for postage, one's for the actual printing.
Oh, okay. And the second one is invoice number 3151, which is the remaining balance for printing of the advertisement. And that is for $3,669.47. And I would entertain a motion to approve both invoices.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes.
And I abstain. Okay, if you go to page 45, we have Antonazzi for the animal shelter, $3,097.20. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now, the bids came in today. We have roughly $280,000 in ARPA funds and $80,000 in an urban grant fund. And our low bidder was Milestone at $316,000. So this is the addition, this is the foundation, this is the framing, the insulation, the roof, the windows, the finishes on the inside, all the electrical, the HVAC, and separate rooms for adoption for both cats and dogs. So we're very excited about that. Moving on, go to page 46. This is the letter that you may have read already, but take a second and read it over. This is to the library. Any questions in the letter?
Just real one, the money that was spent out of that $1 million, I'm assuming they're okay with that because it was in good faith effort of trying to purchase.
That's what I'm
these
told.
properties?
It was only about $26,000, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but what's gonna happen now is the city is gonna get back to balance, I'm thinking 450, 425, and that'll go towards paving. That's the goal.
I think my question is, and I'm worried about this,
Sure.
like the life expectancy of a bus versus a building, right? So we're spending approximately what, between 400,000 to 600,000 on a mobile bus, right? So maintenance and all of that, because they're gonna be driving the bus around. Just saying, right? How is that gonna be covered?
So that's gonna come out of their operating budget, but I would say that number is far less than maintaining a building.
Yeah, but a
Also,
building also lasts longer than a bus.
well, I mean, I think they can get 20 years out of a bus. I mean, a building does last longer, but what happens is, a building is far more money. I mean, they're talking millions of dollars for a building. You know, and not everybody can get to the building. They can't find a building in West Haven. It's not like they can go to Stratford and open a West Haven library, you know what I'm saying? They have a very short area geographically to do it in. And the problem is, we've given them a year and a half to do that, and they've never done it.
And $1 million was just gonna cover the soft costs.
That's right, yeah.
There had to be more money,
Yeah.
obviously, to build a building.
So-
But my concern on it is just to add on to that is, I just hope that they do get prices that are apples and apples. I haven't, the two went about, it makes sense, but are they the same size? Are they getting all the same stuff in them? I'd hate to have them come back in
Well-
2 weeks and not be clear
No,
that,
they'll be clear, they're on it. I mean, they spent a lot of time on the more expensive one, and that's why you got a detailed bid. Your point to give us a more detailed bid in the next one down,
right, if the
Makes
next one
sense.
down comes up higher
Yeah.
than the one
Yeah.
they really
it
want
won't,
is.
it won't come higher. Yeah. All right, moving on. I've got SMG invoice on page 49. This is for deep cleaning of the warming cooling center, $2,274.85. So a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second?
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, I've got Century Protective Services. This is security for that center, $6,597.08. Do you have a motion to approve?
Motion?
Do you have a second?
It's the last one.
Second?
Second.
Second, Dwight. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Warming center closed now?
It's a cooling center.
So-
It's a cooling center.
It's
All right,
42 degrees.
off the record for a
this
second.
morning.
Off the record, okay. All right, any new business? Motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I wrote abstain for you.